Hey guys, I'm Mark Walters with BigFanboy.com, and is this honestly an interview? I don't know, but it's great. I'm sitting here with Jay, Paul, and Eric from the new movie Slammin' Salmon.
Hello.
It's Broken Lizard production, which so you know it's going to be good. And I can honestly say I thought this was very funny. I thought you guys did a really great job. I come from a background of waiting tables, like years ago, so I identified with a lot of things that were going on in this film, both from the inside the kitchen and on the actual floor. So I guess the first question I would have is, the first question I would have is, like, how much time did you guys spend in restaurants, maybe kind of like doing research and, figuring out little things here and there, little things that you observe?
Well, we've all had restaurant jobs.
Mm-hmm.
I was a busboy for a while and dishwasher, but also these two guys plus Steve Lemmy worked at a restaurant together in New York City. So, everyone had their stories and experiences, and we also figured it's one of those things that pretty much everybody at some point in their lives has worked in a restaurant or that. So it is hopefully something everyone can relate to.
I think it's something everybody should do for at least 1 year of their life.
But some of some of the customers are straight out of our experience. I mean, we would have certain customers who would come in and take up a table for 4, and they would order almost nothing, like they'd order hot water and lemon. And we had Lemmy had a customer who was a famous rap star, female rap star, who ate a ton of food and then left no tip because the tip was her presence. So we're not outing them directly, but we take a lot of what really happened to us.
Right. Now, like, how much of that stuff, in terms of, like, obviously the customer thing, I mean, I've seen that too, you get the guy that comes in there and sits there forever. Like, some of the stuff from the various employees, because they all have their own unique little qualities, how much of that stuff was taken directly from you guys in your own personal, lives? Experiences?
Well, the character of Guy was based on the celebrity liaison, Madison Square Garden. Was his name really Guy?
I don't think so. I think it was just, he was the kind of guy that would be like, hey Guy.
He called everybody Guy.
He called everybody Guy. He had a fake orange tan, and he was super cocky, and so, I don't know, that's how he came up with that character. I have no idea how he came up with Nuts and Zongo. Does anybody know?
Well, my wife had a client. When my wife used to work at a hospital, there was an insane patient who thought he was Zongo.
So Zongo was actually taken from the name, like he used that name, Zongo.
I think he used a similar name, and my wife refused to let us use that name, and so Zongo was our slight bastardization. He was like Zango or Gongo or Bongo or Wango or something like that. So we just,
Yeah, I want to know if
big writers that we are, we said, just change the letter.
Can we get a T-shirt that says Zongo is here?
That's a good idea.
Zongo is here. Okay, that'll be good.
I don't know if this comparison has been made for you guys. I'm sure it has at some point, but I kind of think of you guys as like sort of the modern day Marx Brothers. And I mean, is that kind of a safe sort of parallel to draw? I mean, with what you do.
This movie is,
especially with this movie.
This one's starting to get that feel of the old time comedy, especially since it takes place in one location. It almost feels like a play.
Yeah.
Coming in out of doors. I did a play at Colgate University called Noises Off.
And you were excellent.
It was very similar, it's like coming in out of doors and behind the scenes, and I think we sort of were maybe influenced by that a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, more so than anything we've done. I mean, this is a farce, and it is, I think a lot of that was based on when we realized we were going to kind of be in this one place for the whole movie, and it was going to be more or less in real time. You realize that's kind of what has to happen. Things have to kind of start spinning and spinning out of control, revving itself up all the way to the end. So that, I think, just sort of naturally that structure, that style came with the territory.
Well, I love the fact too that you guys took Michael Clark Duncan, who I've always thought had kind of a very funny personality, but he never gets a chance to show it. And so you've taken this guy and really shown us just how funny he can be, and he seems so at home with that type of humor in the film. Was a lot of that stuff he was coming? Was that all written out, or was some of that stuff he was coming up with on site?
It was, we wrote the character, and it became probably our favorite character we've ever written, because you could put anything in his mouth. All the jokes that usually like, no one would ever say that. We're like, yeah, we could do that. We could do that.
But
he also, you know, he sort of started to see how we worked, which is we shoot what we write, and then we improv a couple little bits after that. And he really started improvising really cool stuff.
Yeah.
So, and you know, I called Adam McKay, who he worked with in Talladega Nights, and he said the guy's phenomenal and really funny, and so we took a chance.
Yeah.
So you realize it's we've had it a couple times. You know, really quality actors often don't get an opportunity to do comedy and broad comedy, and that's worked to our benefit with getting Brian Cox for Super Troopers and getting Bill Paxton, who had started off doing Weird Science, but then had done primarily drama, and so it's good for because then you can get really good actors, and in our case, a lot of times our philosophy is, as opposed to getting a really big comedian to do movies with us, get really good actors, because then they'll be funny. If they're good actors, they'll make it work, and it always gives a cool quality to our films when we can do that.
Yeah. Now, you guys, I know Devin was talking earlier about the Grease revival and everything, and you were saying that you guys are wanting to do Super Troopers 2, but that there's nothing concrete necessarily on the table. Is there anything that you guys have discussed, maybe like, this would be great if we could do this at some point? Like, have you ever thought about doing a sci-fi film or something just really wacky and out there that maybe hasn't been attempted yet?
We want to do a space movie.
Yeah.
We have to keep, at least we're still, at this stage where everything has to still be able to be done for a modest budget.
Right.
And so, we had an idea about us as dudes who were abducted by some crazy Bill Gates type guy and shot into space because he had made a bet with NASA that he could put 5 guys on Mars quicker than they could, and something like that. We loved that idea, but there was just you realize doing a movie in space and you want it to look good. It's an expensive proposition.
Yeah.
We should write that movie.
Yeah, I agree. It'd be a fun movie.
We also had Mickleberry, who was the first cat to go to the moon.
We were gonna write a kids movie about the first cat on the moon. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mickleberry in space, and it was like a cat going through all the NASA training, pawing at bubbles, and with a mask on, doing anti-gravity stuff. But, I mean, we were asked to pitch a movie about a cat, so we came up with Mickleberry, the cat in space, and the guy really, I think he thought we were fucking with him.
Well, it was one of those things where we'd been brought in because somebody owned this property, and they said, we want to do something with a cat. We want you guys to come up with some ideas for us. We said, well, anything? And he said, anything. You can make it a cat in space. And being the lazy guys we are, we're like, oh, okay, we'll write a cat in space movie. And then we pitched the guy, and the guy's like, what the fuck are you doing? Hey, you come in here with a cat in space movie? We're like, you said it could be anything. And you specifically said the cat could be in space. He's like, I was just trying to say that could be anything. I didn't mean literally the cat would go into space.
And then we pitched him the second idea was Mickleberry was the head of a large corporation, and he made all the decisions silently.
Yeah.
And he had a guy who kind of facilitated it, but the boss was the cat.
Yeah.
He didn't like that either.
That's
shocking. He wanted more of the cat and the dog become friends, and then they get married, and
Hey, if that Garfield movie could get made, come on.
I mean, 2 of those, I think.
Yeah, 2 of them. A Tale of Two Kitties?
Exactly. If America's not ready for a cat in space movie, then I don't know what.
Well, listen, guys, you can see Jay, Paul, and Eric in Slammin' Salmon. It's very funny. I highly recommend it. And guys, thanks for coming back to Dallas and spending
As long as
time with
you've
us.
got
and everything.
reclining chairs, we will.
Yeah, we can. I think we can kick back and
we love Dallas.
go to sleep now.
Let's
So,
watch a movie.
you guys have a wonderful night, and we'll see you in the morning.
Night.